Let me ask you something. What's the first thing you can actually remember? Maybe it's a birthday, a pet, a room, with a light coming in a certain way. Sit with it for a second. Now here's the strange part. Whatever you just pictured, you were probably 3 years old, maybe 4, and everything before that? Your first steps, your first word, the face you stared at longer than any face you will ever see again. Gone, years of your life, just, missing. We call this infantile amnesia. And for over a century, scientists kept asking the same question about it. Why can't babies form memories? But that turns out to be the wrong question. Because babies absolutely do form memories. Within days of being born, a newborn can already pick their own mother's face out from a stranger's. And now we can watch the brain do it. The real question, the one that's so much stranger, is where those memories go. To get there, we have to start with what nearly everyone believed for 100 years and got completely wrong. Our first suspect is Sigmund Freud. He's the one who named it. Back in the early 1900s, Freud decided you forget your early childhood because your mind is hiding it from you, burying scandalous baby secrets. Yeah, that one did not hold up. So science moved on to a cleaner idea. The camera was broken. The thinking went like this. There's a little seahorse-shaped piece of your brain called the hippocampus. It's the part that captures new memories. And in a baby, it's still under construction. In fact, it roughly doubles in size in your first 2 years. Too unfinished to save anything, so the experiences happen. But nothing gets written down. No tape in the camera, clean, logical, makes total sense. It's also wrong. In 2025, a team at Yale did something almost nobody thought was possible. They put babies, actual awake babies, some as young as 4 months, inside a brain scanner. Pacifiers, blankets, a parent standing right there, and they watched the baby's brains while showing them pictures of faces, objects, and places. Then, a little later, they showed each picture again, right next to a brand new one. Here's the trick. Babies stare longer at things they recognize. So if a baby locked onto the old picture, that baby remembered it. And the scanner caught the exact moment it happened. When a baby's hippocampus lit up, the first time it saw an image, that was the image they recognized later. The camera wasn't broken at all, it was rolling. Somewhere around 1 year old, sometimes earlier, babies are quietly recording. But the results were all over the map. It wasn't the oldest babies who recorded best. Some of the youngest, under a year old, were out recording babies nearly twice their age. Nobody knows why, and nobody knows yet whether those kids will grow up with sharper memories than the rest of us. So the broken camera theory is dead, which leaves us with a much creepier mystery. The tape exists, so where does it go? Right now, scientists have 2 leading ideas, and the first one is kind of brutal. A baby's brain is building itself at a furious pace. New brain cells flood in by the millions, rewiring everything, every single day. And one theory says all that new wiring basically paves over the old memories. The roads that led to them get rebuilt so many times that you can't find your way back. The memory isn't erased, the map to it is. And this isn't just a human problem. Mice forget their infancy. Monkeys forget theirs too. Whatever this is, it's ancient and it's everywhere. The second idea is the one that'll keep you up at night. What if the memory isn't gone at all? What if you've just lost the key? Here's why scientists take that seriously. In 2023, researchers worked with mice that had forgotten something from their pup days. Then they used a pulse of light to switch the exact memory cells back on, and it came flooding back. The mouse remembered. The file was never deleted. It was just locked. Now think about everything else stacked against baby you. You had no words yet. And it's hard to file a story when you don't have the language to tell it. You didn't fully know you were a you. Babies don't even recognize themselves in a mirror until around 18 months. And honestly, your brain had bigger things to do. There's also a wrinkle nobody expects. How far back your memory reaches may depend on how much your family talked about the past with you. Kids whose parents constantly told the story back. Remember when we did this? Filling in the details, asking questions, tend to have earlier first memories. In cultures where families do that less, people's earliest memories start about 6 months later. Part of your earliest memory might survive for one simple reason. Someone kept asking you about it, but here's the beautiful part. Your brain wasn't trying to save the memory of one Tuesday afternoon. It was using that afternoon to learn what a face is, what words are, how the whole world works. It threw away the moment and kept the lesson. Your brain wasn't keeping a diary. It was writing the dictionary. That's why you can't remember learning your first language. But you still speak it fluently. That pattern-catching machinery switches on incredibly early, around 3 months old. You don't remember the moments. You became them. But here's the part that genuinely gives me chills. If this really is a locked door problem, if those memories are stored and just unreachable, then they might still be in there, right now, inside your head. The first time you saw your mother's face, the first time the world made sense, the day you realized your own hands belonged to you, all possibly still recorded, sitting in a room in your brain that you will never, ever walk into. And scientists aren't done looking. That same Yale team is now testing whether young children can recognize home videos filmed from their own baby eye view. The early hints? Those memories might survive longer than anyone guessed. So let's zoom all the way out. You spent the most important years of your entire life learning how to be a person, how to love someone, how to walk, how to turn the roaring blur of the world into meaning, and you were completely, fully there for every second of it. You just weren't allowed to keep it. Somewhere in your head, there may be a version of you that remembers being a baby, that remembers every face, every first, every enormous tiny moment. You're just never going to meet them.